Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sendai Girls Big Show in Sendai 2025 show review here as part of the Five Star Joshi Show. Yes, we are in the swing of it. We are in the swing of brand new things here on the channel, new things coming to this channel, and that starts right here. As I promised, if you've been looking at the posts that I've been giving in the YouTube channel, you know that this was coming and so much more along the way. It felt only right to start the next chapter for myself, creating content for myself and this channel and what I do overall, to do so in a unique way. Yeah, we could have waited for a big stardom show. We have one this weekend, but Sendai Girls packed a punch here, brought a big time show to Sendai with a big time main event. And this is what you can expect from the channel moving forward. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today. This is part of the new look of the Five Star Joshi Show and part of the new look of what I will be doing moving forward. So please, please, please stay tuned for so much more, including an announcement right here at the end of the episode so that people know where to go if you are or have been a podcast listener over the past number of years. I have you covered. We have that done. And this is just the start. I'll also say this coming Saturday, we will have a video reviewing the Stardom Corgan up on the channel as well. Trying to keep it as instant and quick as possible, give me a few days here and there depending on the show. But I'm trying my best to bring the very best. We have so many feature ideas and stuff like that that I've been bringing to the channel as well. That'll be coming up very, very soon. But with so much here to go, it's only right we get into it. So, with this being the new direction, let's get us started. Let's get into a Sendai Girls show that I thought was a great, great time with a fantastic main event. Sendai Girls Big Show in Sendai 2025. Of course, your feature main event was Chihiro Hashimoto defending the Sendai Girls World Championship against Mika Iwata. A brilliant moment for these two. Lots of history for these two. And being classmates, being really the heart of Sendai Girls for so many years, it made for a perfect main event to get into. But before we get to that main event, let's get to the rest of the card. A card, mind you, that I quite was excited for on paper. That, of course, started with none other than FWC versus Bob Momo Banana. This match on paper had me most excited from the entire show. This was a match that I believed could be the best match on the show. And I think what this match proved to me, it's not going to be the final time we see these two teams face off. I think that's ultimately what this match was to me. It was a case of there's going to be another showdown between these two. So let's just give a teaser. Let's just give a taste of what that looks like. And for me, I thought the match overall was quite enjoyable. I thought the match had the moments between Hazuki and Manamono that I was really looking forward to. These are two wrestlers who have been kind of circling and circling and wanting to face each other, but never getting the opportunity to do so. Now they finally did. And also, these are two of the best tag teams in all of Joshi. And I think this year, um, Joshi tag team wrestling specifically, while you have, a handful of teams you could sing praises to, of course, Wingori, Nanai Takahashi and Sareee Yamaoka, and a few other teams, obviously. It's these two teams that you kind of expect to carry the greatness and be at the top of that list. And with FWC's questionable run now with Stardom, and of course Manamono being out for half the year, that kind of limited both of them from, I think, reaching the potential of their expected spot atop that tag team of the year conversation. And I think that kind of just showed in this match. Both teams were solid. The match overall was solid, but it definitely left you wanting more. At least it did for me. And I think that's part of the reasoning because FWC got the win. They will be the next Sendai Girls Tag Team title challengers after this upcoming weekend. So they will face Team 200 kilograms, I fully expect. And I fully expect them to be the one to take those belts, leading to an eventual title match between these two teams. That's why I don't have a problem with how this match went, because I think somewhere down the line, because I don't think FWC is anywhere close done with Sendai Girls. I feel like this could be their new home, quite frankly, depending on how things go. But I think based on this match and based on the levels to this match, we're going in a big time direction. And I think that includes FWC capturing gold outside of the Stardom ring. And for Eureka Oka, for Mio Momono, I think it is a reset of sorts. Mio Momono is about to be very busy, I think, when it comes to the Marigold Marvelous feud, which is, of course, unfortunate for someone like Eureka Oka, who thrives next to Miyamoto, absolutely thrives. But I think it's time with Eureka Oka, much like Manami, which we'll talk about here in a second, to open the door, let her succeed, let her thrive in a singles capacity now. She's ready. She's capable. Those two are in the conversation for most underrated wrestlers in all of Joshi, and they continue to show it in matches like these. This was a good match, not the top tip level that I think you expect from these two teams just yet, but I do think we get there sooner rather than later. A good start nonetheless, and one that I certainly am not going to complain about. But FWC gets the win. They'll face likely Team 200 kilograms somewhere down the line. Oh, clicked it too fast. Next up, we had the Sendai Girls World Junior Championship. This, of course, featured Rian of Stardom challenging Yuna, who, of course, defeated Aya Sakura to win this championship back at Senjo the Biggest. The first title match for Yuna is an important one. I think when you're watching Yuna, or when I'm watching Yuna, I'm just looking for her to start clicking a little bit more here and there. I don't need her to be a super rookie, right? Like the difficulty for Yuna is that she's coming up in an age of super rookies. It's unfair. It's not it's not easy to do that. It's not easy to stand out when you are facing the Chi-Chis of the world. And now, of course, most recently, you have Senka Katsuki and, around the time she debuted, Victoria Zuki and people like that. It's hard to stand out, but I think she's making the correct strides. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this match was a blowaway match by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm also not gonna sit here and tell you it was bad. No, I thought it did its job. I thought it accomplished what it set out to do. Rian had a good little spots there, hit the stunner, hit the super RKO, from the top of super cut or whatever you wanna call it. Certain things like that, and ultimately it worked in Yuna's favor of getting a nice strong win in the end. So, for me, I'm happy with where this match went. I'm happy with what we accomplished here in this match. And I think ultimately, because of Sendai Girls' ability to, as we learned on the show, bring the future together in a spotlight style match, I think it's hard not to be excited for what's next and where we're going. I think if you're not excited for where we're going, then you're wrong. Because what we know is that the rookie tournament or the youth tournament, I believe it's called the Uma tournament, which Chi Chi won last year to bring back the Sendai Girls World Junior Championship. That is back this year, and boy, oh boy, is it stacked. There's a lot to get into. There's a lot of wrestlers to get into here. And for the first time, We are seeing Marigold and Stardom involved in the same tournament. A stunner, an absolute stunner. So let's go through the participants here. All starts with none other, no bigger shock than the announcement that Rhea Seto, former trainee of Sendai Girls, will be the Marigold representative in this tournament. A great surprise, a welcome surprise, and an awesome surprise. I thought to myself when they were going through the announcements, and this was a really cool video, they're showing the promotion, then the wrestler. I thought to myself when Rhea Seto was announced, two things. One, it's really cool to see her return. I think that's something awesome. Coming off the heels of that Victoria Yuzuki match in the Dream Star Grand Prix, that was so excellent. The best match of her career, and also just the growth she's had over the past year. Now she gets to go back to where she started and showcase who she is. And I think that's really, really cool. The crowd popped big for it, which was really cool. Other competitors in the tournament include Sendai Girls' Yuna, of course, the champion, Spike Nishimura. You'll have 2AW's Yuka Satsuki, Pro Wrestling Evolution Soy. Seedling will have Maria Kuga and Yuki Funa in there. T Heart sends Miku Kane, who could be one of the favorites. Like I said, Marigold Rhea Seto. Stardom sending Rihanna and Emma Mishima. So really cool to see Emma Mishima get that opportunity. Obviously debuting this year, getting to step into the ring with wrestlers from other promotions. I think that'll do a lot of good for her. She's a high quality talent that I think isn't getting the push or necessarily maybe the care that other rookies around the scene may get, a spotlight on them, but I do think she's a talented rookie nonetheless. And then, of course, from Marvelous, you'll have Sora Ayame and Sanka Akatsuki. Like, ooh, that's a really exciting tournament. That's a really enticing tournament. Now, I will say this, despite them being in the same tournament, Stardom and Marigold are not on the same side of the bracket. That should not come as much of a shock. But hey, baby steps, right? They're in the same tournament, they're in the same situation, and I think that's really cool to see. So, um, I'm not gonna predict finals or anything here yet, but maybe right before the matches are officially announced, maybe we'll do a little preview on here. I don't know if a lot of people are looking forward to the rookie tournament, but considering a project I have coming up highlighting the future of Joshi, I think it's only right we highlight that tournament in full force. So really cool to see that. But we can get to the next match, and that was none other than Sareee, the Sun God, going one-on-one, I should say, with Manami. There are a lot of match types. I was gonna say few. A lot of match types for Sareee that I love. But when she goes in there with someone youthful, someone up and coming like a Manami, you get to see really the best of that wrestler, and you get to see Sareee in her element. So much of what I loved for Sareee over the past year, whether it was in Marigold or Stardom, was seeing her wrestle the young wrestlers and lift them up, right? The Rana Yagami match most recently, before the 5 star, was a great sign of that. You go back to Marigold last year, her and Kazuna Tanaka, and the possibilities of other matches throughout the scene where Sareee can face a youthful wrestler and lift them up, right? And when it comes to someone like Manami, Manami is someone who I think a lot of people, myself included, believe can challenge Chihiro Hashimoto for the Sendai Girls World Championship. She's a superb talent. She's a superb talent. And I think she just needs the opportunity from Sendai Girls to show the superb talent. And in a match like this, where yes, she's gonna lose, yes, she's gonna get destroyed, but yes, she's gonna show that fighting spirit, she's gonna show that overall fire. There's potential of okay, we see it. There's a reason Manami was in Mako Satomura's retirement match. There's belief there, there's care there. Now you put her in this match on the Sendai Girls' biggest stage in Sendai, right? The big show in Sendai. And you have her face Sareee, the IWGP Women's Champion, the reigning Tokyo Sports Women's MVP wrestler, right? Like, this is a big deal. This is a big deal, and this is exactly what you wanna see from someone like Manami, who showed so much fight, got a incredible near fall. Again, everything you could ask for from Manami in this match, and really from Sareee in this match to push this match forward and make it work, you got. And that's all you can ask for. Um, they're trading on the top rope, just a great fighting spirit at one point where Manami hits a Meteora, gets a nice kick out. Sareee kicks out, hits another Meteora. That was a great spot. Um, Manami bounced back with a big time backstabber as well. But ultimately, Sari said enough is enough towards the end. She hit the stomp, but that was the kick out of the one of the best kickouts of the show. Not the kick out of the show. The main event had the kick out of the show. But one of the best kickouts of the show. It was a sign of you can't beat me with that. You can't beat me with a move that we watched her, Sari, in the 5-star win with. You're gonna have to hit the Uranagi on me. And that's what she did. But again, it's the case of this is how you want to push a wrestler. This is how you want Manami to get built up is with wins like these. And I think to me, this was a step in the right direction, which I was very happy with. So a good match here. Probably are possibly my second favorite of the night. I liked a good amount of these matches. I think as always with Sendai Girls, it's just a solid watch. You're never gonna have a bad time watching Senjo. That's kind of my takeaway always. We then had a trios match: Jaguar Yokota, Miku Kane, Unagi Sayaka taking on Yu Sakura Hirota and Miyuki Takase. Listen, I'm not gonna say a lot about this match. It had its expected moments, it's Hirota comedy, um, fine wrestling, between the veterans. And, ultimately what mattered was Miku Kane, who, of course, got announced for the junior tournament later in the night, got the win. That was the big takeaway. I was like, hell yeah, that's what you want to see. Again, building up that youth, giving these youth wrestlers a win. Miku Kane is a very talented part of this youth. If I was to map out the ones you got to watch, she is one of them. And she showed that right here. So this was a fine trios match. Get the legend of Jaguar on the card. Get everyone else on the card. You and Takase, the new full-time members of Senjo. No problems whatsoever. We then had Spike Nishimura and Rain Leverson taking on Venny and Lena Cross. I quite enjoyed this match, folks. Okay, being totally honest, first time I've ever seen Rain wrestle. I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. There is a natural charisma to Rain that kind of pulls you in, and her wrestling overall stood out to me. This is someone in Rain who, one, I had not seen before, but two, is stepping in there with Venny and Lena Cross, two wrestlers I hold to high acclaim. These are two wrestlers that I think are tremendously talented. I think these are two wrestlers who have continuously showcased that they're among the best, right? Lena Cross is someone that you see getting signed soon eventually, and Venny's one of the best in the world whenever she feels like it. And Spike Nishimura, of course, another recently joined official member of the Sendai Girls roster, has already shown massive improvements from her last match I saw her in to this one. This is what you want to see. This is what you love to see. I think when you're building, right? You're building a roster and you're developing. This is what you want. And I'm so happy that Sendai Girls was willing to bring in Spike on a full-time basis and make her a part of the roster, because what you're seeing is growth from step to step very quickly, very fast. And on the case of Rain, someone who, has the rock star appeal, the rock star look, instant standout. Would love for her to continuously come back to Japan, continuously come back to Sendai Girls, because again, she won me over here very quickly, which is lovely. Watching these wrestlers, watching these new wrestlers, and Sendai Girls is always really good, I think, at bringing in foreign talent. They found another one. Um, I just really enjoyed this match. I had so much fun with this match because one, I was learning, and two, you're watching the developments, and then three, you have freaking Venny in this match to just keep it all together as she does because she's so fantastic. I also think that there is credit to Lena Cross. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be her last tour of Japan. I really hope it's not. But if there is ever a chance, and she doesn't sign with one of the big promotions, if there is a chance to keep her around on a full time basis, get her to the nice Sendai Girls tracksuit and things like that. Please do it. Please do it, Mako, because she's superb. These two are superb. I'd love to see them get a real tag run. They got the one last year that lasted like a month. Give them a real run. That's what we want to see. Give them a real run, please. But overall, a really fun match. Venny and Lane, of course, win. But I'm telling you, watch out for Spike, someone who is getting better each and every time out there. Again, talking about the development of rookies and young wrestlers. She counts. Spike counts now, right? So and with the kick-based offense, this is someone's going to stand out the more comfortable she gets with hitting them a little harder, hitting them a little stiffer, and so on and so forth. And I can't say enough good things about Rain. Very exciting wrestler. Never seen her before, but I liked what I saw. I'm gonna enjoy the Sendai Girls shows this weekend when they continue to work together. So this was quite enjoyable. I recommend checking it out. I recommend checking it out. Then we had your semi main event, the hardcore match, your signature hardcore match. Aja Kong, Rhea Mizunami taking on Dash Chisako and Hiroyo Matsumoto. Not a big shock ever, of course, when you got Dash Chisako stepping into a big show on Sendai Girls Big Show, after all, right? This is what she does. This is why she's here. She likes to do her hardcore matches on these shows. I think sometimes myself and others maybe would love to see Dash just continue to do big time matches in a singles capacity because she's a fantastic wrestler, one of wrestling's most underrated wrestlers. But I understand why she does. I understand why she likes to go to this. It's a thing she does. It's a spectacle of sorts for those watching as well. It's a spectacle of sorts for, a staple to go to the Sendai Girl show, get a big title match in the main, and get Dash Chisako's hardcore match of some sort. I think the coolest thing about the past two is that we've randomly, for fun, gotten Aja Kong in them. And I think that's awesome. Like, hell yeah. Let's get crazy. Let's get wild. You have four incredible vets, obviously a legend in Aja Kong in this match. And, they're not going to go crazy. Well, Dash is. Dash is going to do her thing, right? But, it's fun. It's fun. Again, when I watch a Sunday Girl show like this one, I'm just looking for fun because I know the main event's gonna hit at a different level. So what else can I get? What else can I look for from a match like this? What else can I expect from a match like this? And it's just a ton of fun. Aja having a million of the trash cans that she brings around and taking a bump onto those, like pretty much a power bomb bump. That was kind of nasty. I was like, oh, there's no way that felt good. Um, and Dash doing her big dive to the outside. Shout out to Rhea Mizunami. She brought a tire to this match. The tire popped me tremendously. And she also hit a spear with the tire on, if I remember correctly, which was pretty crazy. And Hiroyo Matsumoto is there to play the bass for Dash while Dash does her stuff, right? Does her big dive to the outside and such, and big dive in the ring and all those different things. So overall, while I don't think this is the best hardcore match that Dash has had even this year, she obviously had the Suzuki one, which was fantastic at Korakuen. This was still a ton of fun. This was still a ton of fun. You're not gonna watch it and be like, "Oh, what a waste of my time." No, you're gonna have a good time. And again, that's kind of the beauty of Sendai Girls. That's why I want to highlight this promotion with reviews like this because, yeah, I'm gonna, start them in Marigold and such, they're going to be the ones that a lot of people tune into. But if you're not watching Sendai Girls, which is available on Wrestle Universe, this show is live on Wrestle Universe, you're missing out. You're missing out. It's well worth your time. You're going to be incredibly happy about it. You're going to enjoy it. So please go out of your way to do so, because these incredible wrestlers deserve every bit of that. But with that being said, enough talk, enough back and forth on all these little things. Let's get to the main event for the Sendai Girls World Championship. That, of course, was none other than Mika Iwata challenging Chihiro Hashimoto for the world title. Now, look, there is a reality that we live in here where the careers of these two have gone very different directions. Both successful. Both successful. But Chihiro Hashimoto is the ace of Sendai Girls and has been for quite some time. She has dominated over the promotion, dominated over her peers, Mika Iwata included, and is at the very top of any conversation when it comes to best wrestlers in the entire world. Mika Iwata is the underdog, right? Mika Iwata has been built as the underdog. So many times people have talked about her losing and losing and losing, coming up short. And last year, she finally got her chance to reign as Sendai Girls World Champion, of course. And the reign was what it was. It wasn't as memorable as I had hoped, personally, but it was step one, right? Her first reign. For Hashimoto, this has been a year of many, many moments. Defeating Meiko Satomura to win the Sendai Girls World Championship for the sixth time, which of course is a record. Then taking part, of course, in Meiko Satomura's retirement match. And now on the road to her longtime tag team partner, who will be retiring at the end of the year. A very emotional, very long year for Chihiro Hashimoto. And yet, the way this match felt and the importance of this match, it felt different. It felt extra special. It really did. Like, there is something to be said about having two classmates, about having two wrestlers who have been connected for so long, right? No wrestlers represent their company more than these two, maybe in the world. Who these two work for, right? Like, they are Sendai Girls through and through. Yeah, they'll do a date here and there outside of the promotion, but for the most part, they are Sendai Girls strong. And when you put such different levels of wrestlers in the ring, greatness can happen when they can tell a story. And what these two did was tell a story. Tell a story of potential defiance, potential of overcoming. Iwata is someone who is always best wrestling from underneath, wrestling as the underdog. And Hashimoto is always great wrestling as the monster, right? Wrestling as the difficult being that you have to overcome. And for so much of this match, it's that. For so much of this match, it's these two, former tag team partners as Beauty Bear, just going at it one on one, time and time again, and just absolutely crushing it. This was the best career performance I think I've seen Mika Iwata ever have. Mika Iwata is a great wrestler. I know I'm never ever going to take that away from her. More often than not, remember for her tag team wrestling, even more so. And the reality is that defeating Chihiro Hashimoto isn't something that happens for Mika Iwata. You look at the track record between the two one-on-one, it's not very good. And yet, there is a confidence here. Their first time facing off one-on-one in, I believe, years. Years. These two had not faced off in a very long time. Beauty Bear had not collided in a very, very long time. I am telling you right now, I am looking through Cage Match. I can't even find the last time they faced off. But it's been a long time, and these two wrestlers have changed in so many different ways. Iwata has found the way to break through now, right? Like she did last year. And for Hashimoto, while she's changed, she's also remained the same. She is still the dominant force of Joshi wrestling. She still is the top force of Joshi wrestling. And the match that these two had was very similar to the matches that I love that like a Mayu Iwatani has with a rival or someone that is, in many ways respectfully beneath her in terms of her expertise, whether it be teacher, student, or something like that. This captured a lot of that. A lot of this was Iwata, what do you got? Can you bring me to my limit? Make me be Chihiro Hashimoto. Make me bring out the best of me. And that's what Iwata brought out. That's what Iwata spent every minute of this match doing, attacking the arm of Hash, trying to limit the strength. But so many times when Iwata would go for her next move, go for her next lift or something of the sorts, it was Hashimoto outpowering her. It's again the case of continuously trying to take down the giant, take down the monster, take down Goliath. And when it comes to Chihiro Hashimoto, she is better than all of them because you can't take her down. The amount of times throughout this match she goes for a suplex and she is just met with the full on strength by Hashimoto. There's a moment where she perfectly reverses a armbar on Hashimoto, one of the best sequences of the entire match. And Hashimoto is pulling her up, and just there's a point there that Iwata is pulling in an armbar on Hashimoto's arm, ripping and squeezing and pulling back on it. And you just watch Hashimoto standing there, so much power. And ultimately, it brings her down. But again, taking down Goliath, taking down the final boss. It's funny that Mako is called that for so long, but Hashimoto really is that of the Joshi scene. Taking down the final boss of Joshi is not an easy thing. And when she hits the Lion Thunder, her reverse pile driver in the middle of the ring, the crowd is like, holy. Of course, Hashimoto kicks out. Hashimoto was going to need to be hit by plenty more before she lost there. But again, believing in yourself. So many times you could see Iwata through this match, confident, locked in, focused on Hashimoto, focused on getting the job done. And so much of that time she was met with denial by Hashimoto. She kept going, she kept going. But eventually Hashimoto is going to catch up to you. And that's what she did. Hashimoto planted her at the end of this match with a power bomb, a move that ended Mako Satomura, mind you, a move that ended the Mako Satomura title reign and helped lead Mako into retirement. And Iwata kicked out. That moment, that moment was so perfectly built up, not only in this match, but through the year. Hashimoto hit the big lariat that she beats many people with, usually younger talent, but she beats then she hits the power bomb. She doesn't really have to go the Albright much anymore. That's the super duper finish. We're gonna hit that when we need to hit that. But she hits the power bomb, and Iwata comes crashing down to that mat, and you think it's over, and she gets the shoulder up. and Iwata just she bounces back, she starts hitting a flurry. We're in full final stretch here, and Hashimoto catches her with the Buzz Sawyer to get the victory. That is the case of Iwata wrestling her perfect plan, wrestling her perfect match, and still coming up short because, again, she's facing the final boss of Joshi Wrestling. She's facing the top dog of Sendai Girls, the woman that she just can't tackle. It was a sensational match, an awesome main event. This match alone is the reason you just need to go out of your way and check it out. Simply fantastic. Simply everything you want to see in a world championship main event, especially in a Hashimoto main event, in a Sendai Girls main event. It's what Sendai Girls does so freaking well. The moment of respect between these two as they sat there in the middle of the ring. Like I said, I think this is the best Iwata performance I've ever seen. For Hashimoto, it's not. Hashimoto's got a lot, but this was an incredible Iwata performance and an incredible match. And again, it's why I love doing these reviews. I love talking about them, and I kind of love this new setup. I have more time to dissect these shows and dive into these shows, and not feel the need to rush myself and so on. But yeah, this match was beautiful. Chihiro Hashimoto deserves all the respect in the world. When we talk about the best wrestlers in the world, when we talk about the Mayus and the Saris and the Kamatanis, Hashimoto needs to comfortably be in that conversation. She continues to bring it. More title matches is all I ask for because my oh my, what an incredible wrestler she is. But this was a fantastic show. This was a fantastic time. Please, please, please go over to Wrestling Universe. Check out the big show in Sendai 2025. You will not regret it. You will have a fantastic time. I believe there's also English commentary if you want to check it out in English commentary. So anything you're looking for, this show has it. And speaking of anything you're looking for, if you are someone who likes to listen to me, and you don't always want to check on YouTube, you don't always want to check out YouTube, guess what, folks? I have put together the podcast feed. You can go on Apple Podcast or Spotify right now. You can type in Scott E Wrestling, and the podcast feed is now live. There is a welcome to the podcast feed, a slight like trailer on there just to get the feed up. A review like this will be going on that feed. I will have this up in time. We'll give it a little time on YouTube. The next day, we'll put it on the feed, however. So if you want to wait, if you want to give it time, you want to listen to the reviews, you can do that. You'll just take a day delay. I want to get that YouTube eyes on it first. But that's the big announcement. The podcast feed is now live. You can look up Scott E Wrestling right now. I'll make an announcement officially on the channel under posts. But if you're watching this video, if you watch through all the way to the end, this is your gift to you. Thank you, everyone, for the support. Thank you for believing me. Thank you for the suggestions. Doing this, I wanted to put this together. I wanted to make this special. I also want to thank my good friend Doc for putting this incredible graphic together, representing all the different things of the amazing world of Joshi and also myself in many ways. This will be where it's at. We are just getting started, though, folks. This was only the beginning of what we're doing. This was only the beginning of where we're going with this channel, with this content. So hopefully you're along or you're you're on the way with us. You jump on, join the ride, get on the wagon. We're going to keep going. This Saturday, we will be back with more content. We will review the Stardom Corkin, at least the main event. I don't know what the card is as of this recording, but at least the main event, we will have a review up for Saya Kamatani versus Azumi for the World of Stardom Championship and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. We're going to dive into that and whatever may else be on that show. So look out for that as well. But thank you, everyone, for joining me for this very special review. Hopefully, you enjoy the way we do these moving forward, the way I bring these to you, the show reviews and other things. Like I said, we're going to get back to that feature content very soon. It's not just going to be all reviews. and previews, but it's going to be a lot. So bear with me. And like I said, if you saw it the other day, I don't know if you saw it, but we did have breaking news, of course, as well for Mirai leaving uh Marigold, announcing her departure from the group. So if you haven't checked out that video, go check that out as well. Like I said, we got videos, we got reviews, we got news, we got breaking news. We're gonna have featured content very, very soon, highlighting. Well, I'll say it now. The first feature video we'll be doing very, very soon is talking about the future of Joshi wrestling and the incredible talent that have debuted over the last couple of years and that are worth knowing, worth being excited about. So keep an eye out for that. But thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for your support. Until next time, everyone, I bid you adieu. So long. Farewell. See you later.